Her breath caught. I could hear it, that tiny fracture in her composure she'd spent years perfecting. For a second, I almost pictured her standing in some expensive hotel suite, hair a mess, makeup smeared, pacing in circles with her phone clutched in white, knuckled panic. Miranda never handled losing control well. It was the one humiliation she could never mask behind a smirk or a clever lie. "Liam, please," she whispered, her voice trembling in a way I hadn't heard since the first year we were married. "You can't just cut me off like this. We are not divorcing over a misunderstanding." A humorless smile pulled at my mouth. "A misunderstanding," I repeated, interesting choice of word. "Then explain it to me." She snapped too quickly, the real Miranda peeking through. "Tell me what you think you saw. Tell me what you think you know. I deserve that." I let silence stretch again. The old me, the loyal, patient, overly understanding version, would have filled that silence, soothed her, tried to avoid conflict like it was some kind of sacred ritual. But not anymore. "You deserve," I said slowly. "Miranda, you lost the right to that word the moment you decided our marriage was optional." She sucked in a breath, sharp and small. "Liam, can you just listen to me?" She tried again, softer. "This whole thing is being blown out of proportion. I was with friends. It was harmless. I didn't do anything. You didn't even ask for an explanation. I don't need one." The line went dead quiet. I could almost hear her blinking. "You what, Liam? Stop it. You're not thinking clearly. This is listen, okay, that man in the video, he's just someone Kelsey knows. I barely talked to him, I swear. It wasn't what you were imagining." "That's the problem," I said. "I'm not imagining anything." A beat of silence, then, "So you're divorcing me because someone sat next to me in a video?" The outrage in her voice was manufactured, flimsy, unraveling at the edges. "No," I said. "I'm divorcing you because of everything that happened before the video. The lies, the distance, the contempt, the way you walked out like 12 years meant as much to you as a grocery receipt." "Liam, and I'm divorcing you," I continued, because for the first time in a long time, I'm finally thinking clearly. She inhaled sharply, like I had punched the wind out of her. "No," she whispered. "No, no, no. Liam, please don't do this. Not without talking to me. Not like this. You left first." I reminded her. "You walked out before the conversation even had a chance to exist. That was a trip, not a separation." She snapped, her voice cracking under the strain. I was upset. You know how I get when we fight. I just needed space. You didn't book a flight needing space. I said quietly. "You packed a suitcase planning to run." She didn't deny it. She didn't breathe. "I'm coming home," she said suddenly, voice tightening. "Right now, I'm already packing, just don't file anything until I get there, please." I leaned back, staring at the morning light turning the apartment gold, warm, indifferent. "You're welcome to come home," I said, "but the papers are still being filed." Silence. Then I heard something I hadn't heard from Miranda in years. A sob, small, fragile, real. "Liam, please, don't do this to us," she whispered. "Please." I wished I felt something. Pity, anger, vindication, even sadness, but all I felt was clarity. "I'm not doing anything to us," I said. "I'm simply acknowledging the truth. You've been gone for a long time, Miranda. Your body walking out the door was just the last step." She cried harder, and I listened, not cruelly, not coldly, just distantly, like listening through a window at a stranger's grief. "Can we just talk when I get there?" she pleaded. "We'll talk," I said, "in front of attorneys." She gasped like I'd slapped her. "I loved you," she whispered brokenly. "I still do. You can't just erase that." "I'm not erasing anything," I said. "I'm ending the part where it keeps hurting." I didn't wait for her answer. I just lowered the phone from my ear and ended the call. For a long moment, I sat there staring at the reflection of myself in the dark screen, calm, still, unrecognizable in all the best ways. Miranda called again. I didn't answer. The square had fallen into an unnatural, breath-holding silence, but only for a moment. That silence cracked like glass when the child's knees buckled. She was wobbling, swaying, and the mother's scream ripped out of her like something torn from her ribs. "No, no, baby, look at me, look at me." The crowd froze, unsure whether to step forward or step back. Fear does that. It paralyzes the good, emboldens the cruel, and tests the souls of the indifferent. Her daughter collapsed fully now, her small body folding, rolling, the toy bear dropping from her fingers. The mother lunged forward, catching her mid-fall, clutching her desperately as if she could physically prevent whatever invisible monster was clawing at the child's insides. Her fingers were trembling so violently she could barely hold the girl upright. People were staring. Whispering, recording, one woman said coldly, "She's exaggerating." Another man muttered, "These people always want attention." And that's when something inside the mother broke, not loudly, not visibly, but silently, like a bone cracking beneath skin. She pulled her daughter closer, pressing her forehead to the girl's, whispering over and over, "Stay with me, please stay with me, stay with me." But the child's eyelids fluttered shut. Her breathing turned shallow, her skin paled, her lips tinted blue, and the world for the mother narrowed to a single point. Her daughter was dying in her arms. The turning point, the man in the crowd, she didn't notice him at first. He wasn't loud, he wasn't forcing space. He wasn't recording, he was simply watching. A tall man in a charcoal shirt, sleeves rolled to the forearms, eyes narrowed not in judgment, but in calculation. Observation, focus, the kind you see in someone who sees patterns where others see chaos. He pushed his way through the frozen ring of onlookers, moving with quiet intention. Someone hissed, "Let the mother handle it." But he ignored them. He crouched beside her. "Ma'am," he said gently, "I need to see her face." The mother looked up at him, eyes red, hair plastered to her forehead, panic pouring off her in waves. She didn't know who he was. She didn't care. But something in his tone, steady, grounded, reached through her terror. She turned the girl slightly, revealing the child's unfocused gaze, the twitching hands, the discoloration creeping up her neck. The man inhaled sharply. "Anaphylaxis," he murmured. The mother blinked. What does that mean?" "It means her throat is closing." The words hit her like a physical blow. The square around her tilted. No, she's never, she hasn't, she. He placed a firm but gentle hand on her shoulder. "Listen to me. She needs epinephrine. She needs it now." But the crowd doubts him. A man in a suit scoffed. "You're not a doctor. She could just be overheated." Another added, "People faint all the time." And someone behind them said the words that made the mother's stomach twist. "Maybe she's just throwing a tantrum." The tall man turned his head slowly, not angrily, not dramatically, but with a level, piercing stare that made the accuser shrink half an inch. He didn't waste breath arguing. Instead, he looked back at the mother. "My name is Daniel," he said softly. "I can help her, but I need your permission." Her voice shook. "You know what's happening to her, don't you?" He nodded once. And in that moment between fear and faith, she decided, help her. The race against time. Without another word, Daniel reached into his backpack, a rugged, sand-colored pack worn at the edges. He pulled out a small zippered case. Inside was an injector pen. The mother gasped. You carry that?" "Yes." His voice was steady. "I've seen this before." And without hesitation, without trembling hands, without fear of judgment from the clueless circle around them, he injected the epinephrine. The child jerked, a tiny, sharp movement, like her body was trying to wake up after being dragged underwater. Her chest lifted, her throat spasmed. The mother held her breath. Come on, sweetheart, please." Seconds stretched. Time elongated. The world stopped spinning. Then the girl inhaled a ragged, wheezing breath that sounded like a miracle trying to break through a cage. Her fingers twitched, her eyes fluttered, her lips regained a hint of color. "She's breathing," Daniel whispered. "She's coming back." The mother collapsed forward, sobbing into her daughter's hair. Relief tore through her so violently it almost hurt. The crowd, which had been so loud in its judgment, fell silent now, ashamed, humbled, irrelevant. Daniel stood slowly, taking a step back to give the mother space. The aftermath and the revelation. Paramedics arrived, cutting through the crowd. "What happened?" one asked. The mother pointed at Daniel with trembling fingers. "He saved her. He knew what it was. He saved her." The paramedics examined the girl, confirmed the diagnosis, and one of them turned to Daniel. "How did you recognize it so fast?" Daniel's jaw flexed, eyes softening just briefly. Because, he said quietly, someone once didn't recognize it in time. The mother's gaze snapped toward him. There was a story in that sentence, a wound, a memory shaped like loss, but he didn't elaborate. He just turned to leave. The mother stops him. Wait. Her voice cracked through the air. Daniel paused halfway through the crowd. She hurried toward him, still holding her daughter close. Please don't go without telling me who you really are. He took a breath. I'm nobody. That's not true, she whispered. People like you, they don't just appear out of nowhere. He looked down, emotions flickering behind eyes that had seen more than he ever said out loud. Finally, he murmured, my sister. She didn't make it. Years ago. The mother's heart twisted. I'm so sorry. He nodded once, not accepting sympathy, not rejecting it, just acknowledging the shared human weight of grief. That's why I carry the pen, he added. I promised myself I'd never let it happen to anyone else. The mother swallowed hard, tears rising again. You kept that promise today. Daniel offered a faint, tired smile, the smile of someone who rarely allows himself the soft privilege of being thanked. Then he turned, and this time she let him go. The echo of that DY. But the story didn't end in the square. Life changed for all three of them. For the child, a second chance. For the mother, a new awareness, a fierce gratitude, and a vow to live differently. And for Daniel, that day reopened something inside him he thought had died years ago. Something like purpose. Something like healing. Something like a reason to believe he could still save someone, even if he couldn't save the one he lost.